Ready, set, go.
Remember what episode number?
I write it down every week,
Okay.
so I know.
Good afternoon. It's Robert and Julia Miller with the J. Patel Group and Rethink Real Estate with another exciting real estate update. Hope everybody's doing well, surviving the heat. 6 days over 115. That was a little brutal.
Yeah.
We're getting a little reprieve, but then it's going to be over 115 again. So
Eventually. Hopefully not.
we get the weekend
Next
off,
week.
and then next week.
Oh, is it next week?
Yeah, not
Well,
much
we're heading
chance of
into
rain
July
either.
4th. July 4th, it always starts getting really steamy,
Yeah,
too.
we'll see. Still waiting on the monsoon.
And the cicadas move in.
All right, we have a lot of information
Lot
to
of
cover,
information.
so we're really going to fly. You got a joke for us?
I do, yeah.
Let's hear it.
Well, I bought a head of lettuce this week from a grocery store called the Mamas and Papas. But I can't eat it because all the leaves are brown.
Oh my gosh. That's a good one.
High five? No?
Yeah, I'll give you a high five on that. That was good. Okay. Insanity is hereditary. We get it from our kids.
It's true. It's true.
Okay, and then my son-in-law gave me one that I had to steal.
Oh.
Okay. I paid $1 for a hairpiece. It was a small price to pay.
Was that from Robert?
Scott.
Really?
Yeah, Scott sent me that.
All right. Good one, Scott.
Thank you, Scott. Okay, this week in history. In 2004, on June 21st, Spaceship One achieves the first privately funded human space flight. We're really seeing a lot of that in the news now. I didn't realize it was that long ago.
Yeah.
16 years ago that it actually started.
I totally thought it was something new too. Privately funded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1977, the Trans-Alaska Pipeline begins operation June 20th. Severely over budget, but we're not going to talk about
We're not
that.
going to talk about that, yeah.
1951, the first color TV images are transmitted June 25th by CBS in New York. It was a variety show called Premiere by Ed Sullivan. The problem was very few people saw it in color because they didn't own color TVs. So,
Couldn't they just watch it in black and white?
well, yeah, but they wouldn't know that it was streamed or transmitted in color because their TV
Oh.
couldn't handle.
So they would still see the show, but not,
Yeah.
okay.
But they couldn't see it in color. So very few people, unless you were on the cutting edge of high tech, you didn't.
Right.
But it was the boom for color TVs, obviously. That the
And I think it
appliance
became
stores were probably
the Ed
licking
Sullivan
their
show.
shop. Yeah. Ed Sullivan? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
1938, Marineland opens June 23rd in Fort Augustine, Florida. 1928, on June 20th, 26 mills merged to form the food conglomerate General Mills. So there you go. You wonder
Who
where
knew?
these names come from.
Who knew? 1928, huh?
Yeah, 1893, the Ferris wheel debuts June 21st at the World Expo in Chicago,
I
Illinois.
love the Ferris wheel.
Finally, 1314, led by Robert the Bruce, also known as Mel Gibson, Scottish forces defeat the English June 24th at Bannockburn.
That's
there you
funny,
go.
yeah, Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson played him.
Right.
Braveheart.
And it is a memorable, it's,
That's-
no man ever forgets that.
Oh, man.
That speech.
Yeah.
So, okay, moving on. Economic news. As the economy quickly picks up steam in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, a recent survey finds everyday Americans expect inflation to jump 4% in the next year. So, I guess we've got to we're like bringing it up every week, but it's not a surprise to anybody.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like. It sounds like everybody's aware that, yeah, we're going to have to deal with it. And the stock market swooned last week after the Federal Reserve stunned investors by signaling higher interest rates at a faster pace.
Back to inflation for just a quick second. It just seems like every time you turn around, the prices increased on what you're going to buy. You're like, I don't remember it costing that much. It's not just gas. It's things at the grocery store. It's bills that you pay on a
Everyday
regular-
commodities.
Yeah,
yes,
everything just seems like it costs
absolutely.
more. Anyway.
Mortgage rates hit 2-year highs last week. So all of this is all this info is leading into higher interest rates. Mortgage rates hit 2-month highs last week, along with tracking bond yields. Rates are greatly affected by the amount of mortgage-backed bonds the Fed purchases. So the sooner the Fed starts to taper how much they're buying each month, the sooner mortgage rates move higher, as happened in the last so-called taper tantrum. In June of 2013. We talked about that last.
Yeah.
Okay,
those rates have to go up, basically. I mean, they will.
They will.
They can't stay this low.
Historically, though, forever.
Yeah.
Okay, housing news. U.S. home building rebounded less than expected in May as very expensive lumber and shortages of other materials continue to constrain builders' ability to meet growing demand. That's Reuters. Funny one.
I like the name of the article. Would if we could. Would WOOD.
Would if we could.
Yeah, I mean, the home builders would do more, certainly. But there's only so much they can do as well. So
I had a funny one. We're remodeling our bathroom, and I needed
pretty much done.
I needed a gallon of paint. I haven't went out and bought anything like that at the hardware store in a long time, even though we talk about this every week.
Yeah.
But I had a brain fade, and I went up to the paint counter and said, "Hey, you running any specials on paint?" And the guy just laughed at me, and he said, "Sir, you will be extremely lucky if we even have what you're looking for." And I was extremely lucky because they did, but I didn't get anything on sale. So
yeah, again, it goes back to, this thing is touching everything. Everything that we need for daily lives, such as paint, occasionally. Is touched by this.
Exactly. So. And we're all, builders need it. We need it for home improvements, just maintenance, and everybody's trying to get it.
Trying to get the same thing.
Okay, average U.S. home prices hit $287,148 in May. This is a national number.
Right,
Wait
national
until
numbers.
you hear the valley numbers.
Yeah.
That's a 13.2% increase from May of 2020. A one-year record, of course. Collectively, prices grew 10% or more in 46 of the U.S.'s 50 largest metros, led by Austin. 30.5%. Wow.
Yo.
That is crazy.
Wow, yeah.
Not surprising, rents are also up, increasing 5.4% from last May.
And we always hate when they start comparing to last year, because last year was an anomaly.
Yeah, the numbers, we're going to really struggle to have good comparison numbers because...
For at least a year.
Yeah, 2020 numbers are so whacked out, so it's hard to use them as a year-to-year comparison. But anyway, housing starts rose 3.9% in May. That's always good news when we hear they starts.
An increase.
They're falling more than 9% in April. Starts are running 50.3% ahead of the rate in May of 2020. Again,
we're comparing 2020 again.
Yeah, so that's...
Nothing was going on.
But starts are up at least. That's the good news that I wanted to get out of that.
Right.
Fed officials last week expressed confidence in accelerating economic recovery, signaling imminent departure from easy lending policies. So once again, we're getting all kind of indicators that the rates are going to go up. As the central bank's June policy meeting, after the central bank's June policy meeting, officials added 2 rate hikes to the 2023 forecast. And you remember, well, maybe you don't, but it was several months ago, they were talking about no rate hikes through 2023.
Yeah,
so
I do remember
revised that, and now there are 2 planned.
I remember thinking, oh, that'd be good. Hopefully, we can get away with that, but I don't know.
Yeah,
by easy lending, we mean the low interest rates.
For the banks. Which is 0 right now. So the Fed adjusted its estimate for the 2021 inflation rate to 3.4. I think it was 2.3. So that is a huge jump up on the inflation rate, and that really had an effect on stock market for a few days.
This week, yeah.
But it seems to have leveled out now, but still another, indication that rates are going to go up.
Yeah.
Chair Jay Powell said members began discussing on reducing the central bank's bond buying policy. So they're going to start buying less bonds, which is going to increase things.
Okay.
Here's a description of it. When bond prices drop in a stock sell-off, interest rates are bound to rise. With Fed officials considering tapering bond purchases, it might be a wake-up call for those waiting for rates to drop before refinancing. So if you're planning on doing that, get it done now. While they're historically low.
While the interest rates are low. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to fly through these stat numbers and...
Stat report for May coming at you.
Yeah, and I'll tell you up front, this Tom Ruff really dives in very deep into the metrics, and it would be a very long video.
We took out half the report.
And we're just going to touch on the highlights, but mostly focus on some summary info that he got out of the matrix that he studied. So sales are down. We've talked about things kind of slowing down a little bit because of getting priced out of the market and buyer apathy. So 3.7% month over month. We saw a little bit of a tick down. Total inventory month over month, it actually increased 5.3%. Still down 43% for the year, but it did actually increase slightly. And I'll go over the more micro numbers here at the end when we do our inventory. Month supply of inventory, remember we were laughing at that number of 0.96 for April. It did tick up slightly. It's still ridiculous at 1.05.
1.05.
Month supply of inventory.
So it's a month and a little bit of inventory.
Okay, these numbers are...
just hang on to your seat, folks.
The average new list price are now up 27% year over year.
This is for the Valley. Keep in mind, these stats are for the Valley.
Now we're focusing just on the Valley.
Yeah.
This is Tom Ruff's report. The average new list price is $520,000. The median list price is $398,000. So the average list price is now over $500,000.
Wow.
The average sales price, you think, well, people listing it at that, they're not going to sell it for that. Well, actually, the average sales price is up 43.2% year over year, $504,600.
Yeah.
The median, $390,000. And the forecast for next month, $506,000 for the average and $400 for the median sales price.
Okay. So the median increases and the...
No, it goes up too.
Oh, the sales price also goes... Yeah, it did go up slightly.
Both of them go up.
Yeah.
So...
because demand is still so high. You know, they may be sitting a little bit longer, like we're going to talk about here in a second. And sales may be down because there are still fewer homes, but they are still selling, and demand is still high.
Yes,
We
it's
still
still
have
a perfect
buyers
storm.
looking.
It's just we're kind of reaching a tipping point on the pricing, and it's having an effect on the number of homes that are actually selling.
Right.
Okay, the average days on market ticked down again. 29 days is all that they're staying on the market, start to finish. So down another 3 days.
Yeah, that's not a long time.
Some of his summary, and he's a funny guy. I like some of the quips he does. This is Tom Ruff from the Information Market. If I were a clinical psychologist, I might consider expanding my practice to exclusively buyer agents. I feel that.
Yeah, thanks, Tom.
I know I know as a housing analyst, our current conditions have me talking to myself as I search for answers. So he's going to go into some metrics here a lot, and again, very deep into it. So if you would like the whole report and want to analyze it for yourself, just let us know and we'll gladly send that to you.
Call, text, or email. Our information's down below.
Excellent. Don't forget to...
And at the end of the video. Oh, yes. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Nice.
And also share the video with a friend that might be looking to buy or sell in the market.
Right. Slipped that in, didn't we?
That in.
There are a lot of metrics that we can track, and they help us identify who is buying and who is selling. But the question I think we need to ask is who is not selling?
Who is not selling?
Because that's the ones that are preventing enough inventory to satisfy the
Some more
demand.
movement, more movement.
He's asking the right question.
Yeah.
In September, we're going to receive updated census data, which should offer additional insights. So that we'll do that in November, or October rather.
Right.
So that'll be a very interesting report when we get that, because he'll analyze all that census data. So key metrics for May show more of the same: restricted supply, homes selling quickly, and rapidly rising prices. We've just stuck record on that.
Yep.
But here's a little bit of his deep dive summary. Cash buyers account for 20.96, or about 21% of the homes purchased.
Okay.
Out-of-state buyers are more likely to buy with cash. Hello, California.
All right.
California buyers account for 6.06 of homes purchased in May. That's pretty high when you consider 80% of the homes were in-state buyers. So us, natives, buying 80%, so that only left 20%. And of the 20%, 6% were from California. The median sales price, this is really... the median sales price for in-state buyers is $380,000. The median sales price for out-of-state buyers is $455,000.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things that could be affecting that. A second home buyer, so they're spending a little bit more money.
Right.
Or in-state buyers have a little more time to shop. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe getting what deals there are out there, and they're just buying. Out-of-state buyers are buying in a higher price point, I think, is the key.
Yeah.
So $75,000 higher. That's crazy. 33% of out-of-state buyers reported their purchase as a second home.
Right.
15% of buyers intend to make their purchase a rental. I thought that was kind of high, and I was really surprised by this one. 27% of California buyers intend to make their purchase a rental.
Yeah, neither one of those surprised me.
I'm wondering, are they talking vacation rental maybe?
Possibly. Yeah.
Because that seems
in some cases.
A quarter of the California buyers, you're hearing about the California exodus, but yet 27% of them are going to make them rental properties. So obviously they're not going to be living in them. So
it's true.
They got to be, that number has got to include VRBO or vacation rentals, I would think. But anyway, 45% of Illinois and Washington buyers list their purchase as a second home.
That doesn't surprise me, because I think that both Illinois and Washington are both really great states to live in for the most part.
Yeah, but they have rough weather.
Illinois has some pretty high taxes. I think Washington does as well.
Yeah, I think Washington does too. Anyway, let's talk about iBuyers. Open Door, OfferPad, Zillow, and Redfin are the big four iBuyers.
And what does that I stand for, Robert? Institutional buyers.
Institutional buyers.
Means that they are a company making the purchase.
Very impressive. I would have sat here scratching my head for a few minutes to get that.
It says it right here.
Well, I know, but stop looking at my paper. Okay, iBuyers have a buy and sell philosophy, while the institutional buyers have a buy, hold, and rent strategy.
Oh, so
that's
actually,
not correct.
Okay, so it's not correct.
So I don't feel so bad now.
What we've always referred to the I and iBuyers is internet, because they're an internet-based company. You can't go to an Open Door store.
I think that's what the I stands for, is internet.
Anyway, I've totally derailed this whole summary, haven't I?
Thanks a lot. Yeah, you're winging it.
All right, go ahead. I'll shut up now.
Okay, so the institutional buyers are, as my understanding, would be an investment group that buys homes to put into a pool of rental properties, and it's a paid dividends, and it's an income for that stockholder. That's my understanding of an institutional buyer.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, iBuyers account for 3.72% of all purchases in Maricopa County, while the institutional buyers had a market share of almost 5%, 4.98. That's pretty high.
That is pretty high.
So
they are definitely looking for houses to buy too.
they're putting
Both
out some
sets of
very
buyers.
competitive pricing. So
Yeah, iBuyers and institutional buyers. We get texts and emails and calls, and I'm sure you guys do as consumers or potential sellers, is, hey, do you want to sell your house? Hey, do you want to sell your house? That's who's doing it, is some of these groups.
and it's always, traditionally in the past, these two were buying at a bargain rate.
Oh yeah.
We're putting offers in over list price and getting beat out by institutional buyers
In some cases, yeah.
offering more over list price. So
Yeah,
tough.
it's a tough market.
Okay, so his conclusion: in May in Maricopa County, newly built homes 1,840. Okay,
Okay.
that accounted for 15.6% of all homes sold.
Okay.
Out-of-state buyers accounted for 21.4%, or 2510, which means that new home construction isn't even keeping up with out-of-state buyers.
Right.
Yeah. So our home builders are not even able to keep up with what out-of-state buyers are.
Well, and
doing.
those two numbers together aren't even 50% of the homes being purchased.
Exactly.
So,
So,
yeah.
so we're not going to expect. Oh, another thing. We got doomsdayers who are worried. We're going to have a massive glut of foreclosures. In May, there were 18 in the whole county. 18 foreclosures.
18 foreclosures.
So we
I don't know
cannot
what percentage
expect.
that is, but it's
Tom
very
Ruff's
low.
comment. We cannot expect any new inventory from foreclosures anytime soon.
Yeah.
So in my introduction, I asked the question. He left us hanging a little bit here. Who is not selling?
Who is not selling?
My suspicions lie in the baby boomer generation, who
It's always your
reportedly
fault.
own 54% of the nation's homes.
54%.
My guess is they are waiting to sell. In Maricopa County, baby boomers might well be a double-edged sword. The peak years for baby boomers was 1957 to 1961, making them 60 to 64 years old. The boomers living here are waiting to sell, and the boomers in other parts of the country might well want to own a second home here. So you got a conflict
Yeah.
there. We're
Yeah.
not selling, we want to buy, and it's
Again, they're not crossing paths.
not right
We
now.
Gotta
anyway.
get them to cross paths.
Might get to a tipping point one way or another, but right now it's just a standoff. So.
Yeah, we call buyers every week. So are you ready? What do you want to do? Nope, I'm not really ready. So I'm just waiting.
Okay, that was pretty lengthy, but that's
Yes.
some really
Thanks for hanging in
interesting-
there if you've
I hope you
made it
found
this
that
long.
interesting as we did. So interest rates holding steady. 30-year is at 3.222. It has ticked up a lot.
It's ticked up a little.
3.18, so 3.22, slight tick up.
Yeah.
15-year 2.527, and VA is at 2.810. Again,
Hanging
a
in
reminder, these are enticements, so your actual rate that your mortgage provider can give you is probably going to be considerably lower.
Call Melissa. I'll put her information below as well.
Okay, inventory, valley-wide, 6,000. We haven't seen
Ooh,
6,000 in a
we topped
long
6,000.
time.
Look at that.
So 6,048. So we are
Alright.
seeing, again, we're seeing a tick up of the, it's not anything to write home about,
It's,
but
it's not huge, but it is something.
it is trending upward. Peoria, 187, and Surprise has 170 homes available for sale.
All right.
Closer to home, Trilogy at Estancia. We're currently at a low point here. It has been up a little higher, but right now we only have 5 homes. And I think a couple of those are getting ready to drop off. So, we're
So
gonna
much
have,
for the slow season for Trilogy.
we're going to have really low
not
inventory here
happening, yeah.
pretty soon. But prices 535,900 up to 800,000.
Okay.
Vistancia Village, 15 homes available. 429,900 being the most affordable and 750,000 being the most expensive.
All right.
Blackstone Country Club has 5 homes available. 529,000 with a high of 939,000.
That's not bad for Blackstone. That
Yep.
seemed fairly affordable there.
Cortabella, 3 homes. That's pretty typical.
Yes.
574,000 as a low and 725,000 as a high. And I did notice there's one that's only been on one day, but the other 2 have been on for well over, one of them over 2 months and one of them over a month.
Wow.
Now. So
interesting.
they need to lower the prices.
Bargains to be had.
Yeah, you need. They need. Well, they need to lower the prices.
They probably need to lower the price. Yeah.
All right, Sun City Grand, 25 homes available. There's a new condo, one of the condos, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 169,000. That seems to be right in that
It's always that
price
same
range, right in there, and a high price of 899,900. They finally lowered the price of that one that was 925,000.
Ah, all right.
And finally, Sun City West,
Grand.
there are 24 homes available to sell, priced low 155,000 and a high of 660,000.
All right.
All right, that's your
Good.
report for this week, and I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend and a blessed week.
I'm sorry we
And-
missed last week. It was Father's Day. We took a break.
Yeah, we
Gave
took
Robert
a
a
break,
break.
but we're back at it, and we will be here consistently every week. So
Yeah.
take care, and we will see you next week.
See you then. See that battery barely hanged in there.
That was a lot,
It was a lot.
but it was good. That was
So move around your hands a little bit. Little Tai Chi in there, yeah. I think it's going to be too bright. Let me see if I can open this blind